Go ahead and put you on the dock.
All right, we starting a bit. We're starting a bit late,
A
but
bit
from
late
whichever corner of the
is an understatement. Yeah, I'm just gonna say.
all right, silence you, silence. But from whichever corner of the globe that you hail from, good morning and good evening, late evening. Welcome to the Xbox Roundtable. Tonight we're once again joined by two members of the TD podcast, Tech Storm and Mr. Nelson.
That's Major Nelson.
No,
Major,
yeah. He's on it now. Larry better watch out.
Nice.
I'm just saying, he's Major Nelson now.
And also by another face we haven't seen for a while, the one and only Emmanuel A1.
Oh man, it's good to be back. You know, I was here last Wednesday. Come on, man. But yeah, it's good to be back on here. Thankfully, since we're doing a little bit late, I was able to come in on time. So let's get it.
There you go. All right, fashionably on time, you call it.
All right. Well, anybody want to start off with any news they want to bounce around it with everybody?
Code Vein is on Game Pass, by the way.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh shit!
I am installing it as we speak. But you know what? My network speeds for whatever reason are a little slow. I don't know what's going on. Like,
are you wired or wireless?
I am always wired. If I'm wireless, there's like a specific reason for it. But I'm more than likely wired 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, damn.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm basically just installing a bunch of stuff on my Xbox right now.
Nice.
Okay. Well, that's one good piece of news which I didn't even know about.
Yeah, that's news to me. I'm gonna go ahead and install it right now too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's the one from Bandai Namco, right?
Yeah, it's the anime Dark Souls.
Okay, you know what? I'm thinking of Scarlet Nexus. That's the one I was thinking of.
Hey, but can we just say we got that W? We got that W for the Game Awards, Team Xbox. We got the W.
Oh hell yeah, man!
Sony got some games
that was a good night.
We got way more. We got way more announced.
You know how the current complaint is going.
Oh yeah,
too many games.
I'll never think too many games is a problem. Who would think that's an issue?
Well, those who are not getting those games, or rather they are not, I guess you say, sure if they'll see those games unless they take a walk on the dark side.
Oh.
Well, dark light, it don't matter. I mean, yeah, I guess you say it's like Tech's situation. He's got both systems because there's something.
Oh, you mean all three? All three systems.
Get that out of here.
Look, man. All right, Sephiroth is coming to Smash, and I need it.
Let me ask you this, Tech, because some people say, and I think I'm of that group. They say the Switch is in the same generation as the Series X and the PS5.
We're having some technical difficulties there, sir. We didn't hear the first half of what you said. Oh yeah,
man, we take no responsibility for that. Oh shit, my bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. Even though you're gonna be on the show tomorrow, which is gonna be spectacular. You can't.
I'm getting my technical difficulties pre-prepared.
Yeah, you can't just do our thing. That's our thing.
You got it.
Oh man! But I was asking you. You brought up the Switch. I wanted to ask you. You said what?
Now I was telling Tech. I was like, you can't just have a thing and not share.
Oh yeah. Yeah, come on, man.
You can't.
You brought up the Switch, and I wanted to ask you: do you consider the Switch to be part of the generation with the Series X and PS5? Because technically, the Wii U was in the generation with PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo products kind of have that gray line where you don't really know where they are at first, and
Nintendo is where
they're just there to exist. Yeah, I mean, I consider it the same shit. There's still being games being made for it, so it's the same shit. Like I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so not interesting.
Yeah, so it's still the same shit. You know, they're probably gonna refresh it to where it's even more powerful than it already is. But you know, Nintendo, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And even if it is broke, don't fix it.
I hope they do, man. I'd finally go ahead and pick up a Switch if they, do a good upgrade to it.
Yeah, man. I was gonna get the Animal Crossing Switch, but let me tell you, I had a time getting this the other day. I really did. I had a time trying to do it. I was trying to do it before work. I was trying to do all this extra stuff. Man, they just whole slew of madness. But I finally got it. So this is my first V2 Switch ever.
Nice.
I had a few regular Switches, but this is like the first V2 Switch and sitting right on my monitor. Right? It's all good in the hood.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, as far as that Switch Pro thing goes, this is the thing. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll say it. You know, the follow-up show that I'm wrong. But dude, I think the only thing they're gonna do is whoa, we're getting some echo. I gotta call. I gotta call.
Who's playing Echo? Who's playing Echo?
Okay. I bet you it's Emmanuel again.
Then again, the bear looking real.
Just so you guys
guilty.
know, we do not take any responsibility. We don't take no responsibility for his messing up right now. Okay. Yes, he's gonna be on our podcast tomorrow. So, but until he comes on there, that's when we take responsibility. Okay, well, he's on our platform. Okay, when he's not, I'm sorry. You gotta hold that L yourself, sir.
Hey, man. I mean, we're doing some Xbox stuff, so it all kind of ties in. So it works.
Yeah, we're currently using an outdated version of Live. It was open source. That's how outdated it is.
Open source. Oh my god.
It's now the property of the Linux community.
Man, I know someone who still rides and dies on Linux, man. Oh my god. I swear I know someone. Man.
I'm still on Linux, but to be honest with you, I'm getting ready to make the switch back myself because it's. I mean, I think Windows itself has matured enough to where, I should be able to just get on there and do what I need to do without having any, too many worries, as long as I watch what I'm doing.
You're right. You're very right.
Yeah. Welcome back, Em. You there?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay.
There we go. We can hear you.
I don't know what happened. I had my mic on. I put my mic on mute, and that's when you said you had hear echo.
You had some technical difficulties, but we don't take responsibility for that while you're on this platform. Man. Okay, we don't take.
What a coincidence, man! What a coincidence.
Oh man, but yeah, as I was saying before my ninja clone jumped in on me, is what I was saying about the Switch is that, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll call it and say that I'm wrong, but I believe that the only thing they're going to do is, if you think about the most current high-end tablets right now that are out there, they're able to do 4K, 4K, like it's nothing. And matter of fact, I think the latest Samsung tablets, the
Tab S7.
Yeah, I think that can do up to 8K, can it? If I'm not
mistaken. No, it has a quad. It has a quad HD display.
Okay, well, like I said, I know their target for the Switch Pro is going to be 4K. So the reason I brought all that up is because I think that's all they're doing, is they're just going to go with, that type of a chipset, a mobile chipset that can handle 4K, but it's essentially just going to be a Switch. So I guess you could say think of it as the Xbox One X of the Nintendo Switch line.
Hey man, I'm down for that. I'm still down for more power.
Yeah, so I don't, like I said, I wouldn't put any bank on it being anything more,
right?
Yeah, more next level beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it all depends at the end of the day on what Nintendo decides to do. Because remember, Nintendo's never really been one to follow the crowd. They've kind of done their own thing, and that shows, right? Like everybody's like, oh, these consoles are 1080, these consoles are 4K. Why can't Nintendo do 4K? Nintendo probably could do 4K. They just chose not to, because everybody else got into 4K around like 2015 ish, around there. Yeah, no, I mean, but it's not as big of a deal as everybody's making it seem. I'll basically put that out there. It's not as big of a deal as long as the game looks decent, and that's all I care about.
Yeah. To me, it's kind of looking like they might jump into streaming a little bit. They had that deal with Control. I think you can only play that through streaming.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see maybe if they do like a they might do like a 1440p, local, and then maybe stream 4K. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool.
God damn it! My Xbox is having some technical difficulties. The Xbox button is flashing like twice, and then like turning off and flashing again. I swear to God, man.
It's probably doing an update in the background. Sometimes if you try to turn it on and you have like auto update on, it'll be like doing the update, and usually you just have to like hard reset it and just go manually do the update, because I think you like interrupt it. Might be the case.
Well, I mean, normally it says, like it's doing an update. Normally it does.
Yeah, that's actually what it does sound like, is that it's in the middle of an update, and dude, they pushing updates and patches out like a fat person, pushes in Twinkies. And I should know because I'm a fat person.
Hey man, look, that's a fat person stereotype now, all right? We don't push Twinkies down.
Yeah. Some of us like honey buns.
And how about pizza and burgers, man? What happened to pizza and burgers? Huh?
That's right. I take that back because when it comes to Twinkies, I got a higher standard.
But everybody thinks that's the de facto go-to.
It really ain't, man. Twinkies kind of suck now.
There we go. That Xbox startup sound.
See,
so
sounded awesome, man.
Yeah, it does, dude. Damn, I low key want to restart it and do it again on camera. Yeah.
Don't.
Question. What's your
Don't push your luck.
What's your sound system setup, Tech?
I got a Sonos Beam soundbar. Sonos Beam.
Okay, very nice. I was like, yeah, it's a good bass punch there.
Oh yeah, no, and that's just the soundbar. There's no subwoofer, no nothing.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, shoot, I'll go ahead and jump on some news here.
There we go. The speed's looking more like it.
All right. So basically, one news item I wanted to go through with y'all is apparently yesterday, over in Great Britain, the UK.
Oh yeah.
Pip cheerio.
Yeah, pip cheerio. Oh God, the British are gonna come for us now.
They're doing the one thing that I wish our government over here would do.
Please do it. And I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that is their politicians are basically in the process of trying to see about trying to ban scalping. If anything, what they're trying to do is they're trying to ban the use of bots.
There we go, man. Like I said, can I just move to Britain? Can I just move there? Like,
you don't want to. I don't know. I mean, some people say it's all right and everything, but
I mean, I think it's a good move. Honestly. It's a right move because all of 2020, ever since these new consoles got announced, it's been everybody since the beginning of the pandemic. It's just been buy. Why don't you? What do you mean you don't have it? Buy.
Yeah, but like I said, these guys right here, they're looking to try to like lock down some laws and stuff to like ban the use of bots.
That's real good. That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that our own government is looking at that and making some considerations because see the thing is it's like this is more than. Especially if you got the British Parliament getting into this. This extends beyond just gaming. This is
right.
like when
computer hardware.
Yeah, computer hardware.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, not just computer hardware, but also tickets, like concert tickets and stuff like that, performance tickets. Because from what I've been hearing, I mean, compared to over here, supposedly the scalping over there is like on a whole new level.
Jeez.
Like you want like what, like 1,200 for Series X or higher than that?
like more like shoot $5,000, like $5,000 if you want to see five grand. Like what's that? What's that? You want this 3090?
Oh, no.
you know there's been a limited supply of these, right? Collector's item.
Oh man.
Damn it, you hit home. With that. What?
Just look how, I mean, still new in the package. Look how it glistens in the light. It hasn't even been open yet. Just completely.
The funniest thing is someone's trying to sell me a 3090 at retail and I want it, but it's $1,900. $1,900. Yeah, that's like the highest, one of the second highest configs of the card. Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
You say you got a 2080 Super, right?
2070 Super.
2070. Okay.
Yeah, it's struggling at 1440p.
Oh man.
But shoot,
if I had a 3090, I would have no more issues. Period.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have no more money until the next paycheck.
Yeah. Shit.
I'm broke.
Only if I gave Sony the finger, and I said buy PS5.
Oh man.
Like whoa, you don't want to do that. Hold on a second. Let's
talk it out.
You got Mark Stern. You're like, whoa, now I spend a lot of hours in my lab here on this.
Look, motherfucker, I didn't even want the digital. I only took it because it was available, and I just wanted to play Spider-Man, bitch.
Oh damn.
Look, motherfucker, I wanted the disc version.
Oh man, but straight up though, what do y'all think about this?
And it's good. It's real good.
I think it's a good thing. I don't know. I think it could play out a little bit different in the United States as far as I think it's not a free market, people doing that type of stuff, because it changes buying practices and all of that, prices and everything. But I think there will be at least a minority of people who argue, for the use of the bots, and oddly enough, I think they'll probably be able to get away with using them.
Yeah, and so you brought up a point right there, because especially over here, you're gonna have those that are going to cry bloody murder that we're infringing upon everybody's rights of free marketing and all that stuff like that, and and some of these reasons that they even brought up, especially as to why they over in the UK they're doing this, is that apparently I guess that with the use of all these bots and everything, there's been like a upscaling of a lot of fraudulent cyber criminal activity. Because if you think about it, if you go into like any of them like real like extra shady sites or whatever it is, and keying in your debit card number, because I don't know about y'all, but I ain't seen no attachment for a PC come out that acts like an ATM where you slide cash in and it teleports over to the other person and it comes out.
I mean, hey man, if it did, that would be awesome. I would just be like, hey, can you slide here? Yeah, sure. What did you just do? What did you just charge me for? Oh yeah, I just rang up like 330.90s on your card.
Oh shit.
all scalped, 2,500 apiece. 2,500 apiece.
Now that's in order for that, that's when Bell South comes back with that reach out and touch someone technology. where you just reach clean through the screen and you just start poking them like hold on now. Be like, I think you got the wrong one today. You about to learn now. Class is in session.
Man.
Like shoot, class is in session. I got the chalkboard. I got the chalk.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that makes perfect sense. And dude, think about it. What was it? Just what, like it was like a day ago. The other day, they were on Twitter going on about there was a huge cyber attack.
Yeah, Capcom.
Well, no, not just Capcom, but apparently, I guess on our government. I can't remember if it was the Treasury, but it was something with the federal government, and they were telling like all the employees through social media to, I guess, log out of their accounts and stuff like that. So yeah. And of all places, they're looking at, Russia of all spots. So, but yeah,
it's not too reassuring.
It never is, man, especially when it comes to them. But the thing is, the whole banning of the use of bots and stuff like that, to me, this makes sense because this stuff has gotten out of hand with the scalping, especially considering the situation we go on with, around the world and everything.
Yeah.
And this isn't somebody who's out there just trying to make an honest buck because they see a problem that needs a solution. Because that's one of the number one reasons as to why you start a business is because you want to present a solution. They're not presenting a solution. They're basically compounding on a problem that's already existing. Yeah. And taking advantage of said problem to basically line their own coffers. So I'm sorry. I know a lot of people be like, yo, respect the grind. No, I do not respect that. I'm sorry.
You can respect my boot on your neck.
Well, hold on, Marcus Phoenix. You gotta go like that now.
Who said I'm Marcus Phoenix?
Oh man.
Cole, get the Lancer. The heavy Lancer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's the way to do it.
But yeah, it makes sense because as I'm reading this, as I'm talking to y'all, I'm reading this. There's claiming that reportedly these jokers have already made like well over $10 million just from the Xbox Series X alone.
Damn.
Yeah, I saw a headline that said 45 million.
Damn.
I guess for both.
Yeah, they sold like 8 million units or some shit like that. So come on, man. Holy hell.
Yeah, so to me, if I was Phil Spencer or Jim Ryan, I'd be looking at that headline, spitting my morning coffee out. because here it is, I'm trying to run a legitimate business. I'm trying to keep, my head and the investors, the chairman of the board off of my back. And here these jokers are raking in like well over 4 to 5 times more than what we were supposed to be getting back.
What the hell, samurai?
So yeah, so to me, yeah, I'm all for it, man. If we could get Congress, put some spit on the griddle, I'm all for it. Let it happen because the scalping thing is really out of hand. Yeah, and and it's like almost anything that at the retailers level themselves they always seem to find a way to circumvent. So, but also to be fair, a lot of those retailers also really don't even care, just as long as they're getting paid. Oh, it's a bot. Oh, okay, it don't matter. It paid. Is the money there? Well, yeah, but we don't know who this is. I mean, this doesn't look like a person. Is the money there? Yeah. Okay, then. That's what what we're dealing with when it comes to most of those retailers. But I see his camera went on, so I know Mr. Nelson got something he wants to throw down. I know he's got that log he wants to throw under the fire. So, Mr. Nelson, go ahead.
You're gonna walk away. You're gonna leave the key. You already clocked out. The cage is open.
Yes. Well, you know what? First of all, thank you very much, Mr. Fireboss, our host, for giving us that bit of news. Because something you mentioned. First of all, yes, it's definitely something that definitely needs to be implemented. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate for this, and not specifically in favor of the individuals who utilize these bots and just mess up the marketplace for everyone else. More so, I want to look towards, because I want to remind y'all something, that at the end of the day, there is a price for everyone. So yes, we can have issues with these folks who will purchase a whole amount of stock of a particular product, and they'll sell it for X amount of money that exceeds the original cost for it, right? But we have to remind ourselves, there are people out there who are willing to make those purchases. So as much as we can get on these LARPers, we also have to get on the people who do this, who participate, because you can look at it like this. This is a vice. We have to look at the people who feed into the fight, into this vice. That's the thing we have to remind ourselves, is that yes, we can make all the less you know what I'm trying to say, goddammit. We can make all these bills, right? We can create all these laws in office, right? But that's not going to be a permanent solution to the issue at hand. So my thing is this: yes, it's a good thing that they're working on that, but let's just be honest about it. That's not going to solve the issue.
Oh no, it never.
That's just gonna put a band-aid on something that's been just festering for as long as it has. And I'll again remind y'all, this is something that's not new in the gaming industry. Excuse me, not even the gaming industry. This is nothing new in terms of just business. So this goes, you got to remind yourselves, y'all, this goes all the way back to probably the beginning of human history. It goes all the way back. So the thing is this: it's going to take more than legislation. If I'm saying that right, and please excuse me if I'm not, y'all. Because like I said, when I get a little excited,
we got you, sir. All right. Well, okay? Look, all right. You already walked away. You already.
But the point being, what I'm trying to get at is this: for as far as I'm personally concerned, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
What?
What's that?
What?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So at the end of the day, y'all, yes, we can implement these bills and what have you. But again, I have to ask myself is, what are we doing on the other end of that?
Is it just me, or is Nelson lagging a bit?
Yeah, Nelson. I think you might be. Yeah, we hear you, but I think you're lagging because every time your camera moves, it kind of stops and goes.
Damn it.
Hey, yo, Nelson, are you on airplane mode?
You got that max headroom thing going.
Yeah, like I was telling Tech before, for some reason my Wi-Fi has just been acting up for the past few. No, hold on, let me make sure.
Hold on.
I put my
no, it's not.
I go on
airplane mode.
I go on airplane mode when I do mine, because that limits your
this past few days for some fucking reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, airplane mode might help it, because that'll limit. Well, actually, it might kick you off of Wi-Fi, but if you do it now, I usually leave mine in airplane mode, because you can use Wi-Fi, but it stops the background stuff from using up Wi-Fi data. So it might help out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. But while Mr. Nelson is getting that situated.
Well, you know what? If you can hear me, that's perfectly fine. That's not going to bother me. But to finish my thought, what I was trying to say.
What?
What?
like all I hear is just to finish my thought. What I was trying to say. Silence.
Nah, because I heard the creak of the chair, and I was
I'm sorry, y'all. I was looking at something.
Oh, you good, man?
Yes.
Close.
I'll try to finish my point.
The ex-hamster.
Come on, man. You know it's all about the hub. Quit playing.
The point being, what I was trying to say earlier is.
Oh man.
Now go ahead, Nelson. I'm sorry, man.
Oh shit. Oh,
did we lose him? Hey Nelson, if you're there, your camera froze, man.
Oh god, I'm so weak.
His dude, I think he froze, man. Okay. Wait.
He looks a little bit better too. Oh, hold on, Nelson, say something.
Fuck you.
All right. We good to go. He's running at 60 frames a second. He got the latest patch.
That Xbox Series X patch. There you go.
That Cyberpunk patch.
Oh man.
We got Nelson in performance mode, y'all.
But to try to finish my point, what I was trying to say earlier before is that, again, a reminder, y'all, I just want to say this is, yes, let's work towards what kind of rules and regulations we can develop to try to manage this issue that's going on within these marketplaces. But also we have to look at the consumers who are willing to make those purchases. Because again, it's like, for instance, let's go to the Xbox. And I was telling this to Tech 2 before, is that at this point in time, it's not going to hurt you to wait. It's like, if you look at the economic, I don't want to necessarily say crisis, but if you look at the economic system all over the world, it's not at its best. So it's fine to admit that you're not in the best position to buy. And again, in terms of purchasing an Xbox, or let's say you're not fortunate enough to maybe pre-order it, or if the order fell through, it's okay to give yourself that leeway and just be like, you know what? It's not going anywhere. The company that is producing this product is not going anywhere anytime soon. So I can be patient. I can wait.
Right. This is
but on the other hand,
complete opposite. As you know.
But for people on the other side who don't feel like they are patient enough, have to get something. And here's the crazy part to me is, if you are willing to spend that amount of money, let's say, for instance, okay, if we look at an Xbox Series X, which is around $499 US currency, which, you know what tax is, it goes up to $5 something. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you're willing to purchase the same product, but you're willing to go over twice, even maybe triple the price range, you're willing to pay that, it makes me question, for one, how do you make that kind of money in the first place? It's like, that kind of throws me off a little bit. I mean, don't get twisted.
But
that's your money.
Don't hate. Don't.
Right. That's your money. I'm not trying to hate. I mean, hey, is that your, hold on, legally speaking, if that's your money, legally speaking. Okay. I understand that. But the point being is this, though, is if you paying triple the amount, I'm thinking myself, let me tell you something. The woman or the man of your dreams better show up on your doorstep and perform certain actions in your favor for X amount of time. Shoot, you spend that much.
Oh,
and y'all know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna let y'all imagination go on that. But I would say this: going forward, I would hope that we are working towards trying to. How I want to say this? Somewhere in the future, I hope that we are all. Here's the thing: it's like, let government do their part. Let's do our part in that, and trying to find a proper solution that actually can stand the test of time for this. That's why I will leave my thoughts on that.
All right.
And hold on, real quick. If any of y'all have a suggestion, please leave in the comment section. We would love to hear your. I would at least
Get at
love to
us
hear
on
your own
Twitter. Get at us on Twitter.
thoughts. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is, adding to what Nelson was saying and stuff, I do want to see our our own lawmakers try to, basically it's like this. The whole idea is not looking for them to just make it go away. It's something that's never going to go away exactly. It takes steps, just like everything. It takes time, but at least make the effort is the only thing that I actually say and ask for, is make some sort of an effort. Because at the same time, the free market is the free market. You don't really want to exactly hurt anybody's grind but at the same time, you want to try to keep the scum down, because that's what we're dealing with now. Hey, I'll call it is. We're dealing with scums now. And it's just, like I said, it's just really getting a bit out of hand. So if somebody, like, say, for example, like in the case of Tech, where Tech just somehow or another came across, well, no, his situation, like he wants to go ahead and sell his PS5, right? That's on him if he wants to mark it up, because it is his, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and if somebody wants to pay it, then that's on them. But with the situation that we have now, where these jokers have jacked these consoles up to as high as like $1,200 and up and stuff like that, you got Xboxes that are sitting in these dudes' garages or in the backs of their vans, not in nobody's hands, because there happen to be folks that just don't. They're not that desperate, because they got two choices. Well, either I go ahead and pay him this, or I basically have to sleep in the dark without any heat.
Right? Yeah.
Be able to make my light bill. And I don't know about y'all areas, but here in South Cac, our light people don't. Our light people don't fucking play. They gives a damn about the holidays. Be like, ho ho ho, you better have that damn money ready. And they like to hit you. And they like to hit you. Oh yeah. Does y'all areas like to do this crap where they try to tack on an extra fee, anticipating you putting up lights for the holidays?
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a new company in, so I don't know. This is our first holiday with them, so I don't know if Dominion does this, but I do know the ones before them, SCEG. Dude, every Christmas they would tack on a extra $60 to $100, talking about, that's in anticipation that you wanted to run lights. And it's like, hold on a second, but I didn't run no lights, so why are you charging me then? And if you ask the question, that's why they're not here no more. That's why they're gone, because they were doing so much dirty, shady stuff, and and a lot of people in the government was just turning the other way and letting their pockets swell. So that's why they gone now. So I'm hoping
that sounds janky as hell.
Damn. Yeah. Tell me. Dude,
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm for those watching, I'm sorry to derail real quick. Nothing breaks my heart more than when I just happen to compare, just for prosperity, compare my bill with someone else. I'll be like,
right.
I'll be like, shoot, I had to pay. We had to pay $250. $250, dude. I just paid $80. That messed, dude,
at one point, our electricity bill here, because obviously I have so much stuff running in the room, was like $180.
And that's another common price I get. But now, dude, we be like hitting like 300 and up and stuff.
Damn.
That's how ridiculous it was.
Yeah,
what do you leave on? What do you have power in your house? What do you have? Like five gaming PCs that are fully spec'd out, like 1600 watt power supplies each. The fuck you doing?
Dude, even with 16 watt, it shouldn't even be coming to something like that. That's ridiculous. I mean, it made no sense. But like I said, I mean, I don't know what these dudes here are gonna do because, like I said, this is our first holiday with them, our first year. So plus we got solar panels. So they put solar panels on us as well.
Still got $300 though. Like, what's what solar panel? I don't get that.
No. I'm talking about with the old people. No, the new people we got.
Okay.
Yeah, the new people we got solar panels now. So yeah, and we just got them this year. So and we just switched to these people this year. So SEEG, the ones that the scum that were doing that, they gone. They gone for a reason. I mean, dude, whenever you have to keep constantly calling the law because people are up at your headquarters threatening to more or less smoke the first person to come through.
Oh shit.
Either you get my lights back on, or I'm going to smoke the first person.
Man,
it was ugly, man. It was real ugly, but you know, that's something else. I digress. Sorry to derail like that, but this is the situation. I mean, that's the situation, you know, that we're in, where we just got people just trying to take advantage of you know, everybody's bad situation. And I'm one of those people where it's like, you know, I can respect the grind to a degree. All right. But when it gets to a point like this, it's no longer a grind to me. You know, it's now a scam.
Yeah.
And, you know, and back to what Nelson was saying, I mean, if you got people who want to pay that, then I mean, you can't stop them. You can't stop a person from dropping down their hard-earned coin on you know, whatever they want. You can't. But at the same time, you just can't help but just look at them with that you know, that look. that Fred.
I mean, hey, Fred, man, like I said, don't you start that with me. Look. All right, I paid. You know, God, no, damn you.
Come on, Pop. Rollo knew where to get this from.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
Stop. Go ahead, Tech. I'm sorry. Let me
stop. But anyway, I know because you have to know my name because it's not way. Damn you.
I just got that one.
But as I was saying, the Xbox, like those people who know, I paid more for that. You know, I didn't pay $4.99. You know, I would love to pay $4.99. You know, I paid $6.80, right? And that's with the discount. I had to talk them down.
Damn.
Yeah, come on. I had to use my my cyberpunk persuasion skills. You know, I had to talk them down a little bit. Okay, you know, but I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you know, I'm not gonna sell that Xbox. That Xbox to me, you know, is like the sacred item. You don't touch it, no matter what. All right, if the stuff's got to go, the PS5 is going to be the first to go. Hate to say it, but
that was about right.
I've used, and you know, this is just kind of a prelude to the video tomorrow, to the stream tomorrow. But I've used my Xbox way more than I've used my PS5. And in the last, like, you know, what, I don't know how long it's been since I've had it, almost maybe like 3 weeks. Like, I've used it way more. And to me, the $6.80 that I did spend was totally worth it.
Yeah, and shoot, you had your PS5 for what, like 5 weeks?
I've had it since day one. Yeah,
damn.
I've had my PS5 since literally day one.
Like, shoot. So what, man? No Demon Souls, no trying to platinum stack, boy.
I mean, look, man, I'm trying to go through Demon Souls, but now's not the time for that. You know, I've been more on the Xbox side of it, other than anything. Like, I've been playing that way more, just way more.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice. Honestly, it is nice. And, you know, I'm not gonna go on too long about this, but I'm glad that I took the offer up. Because yes, I could have tried and add to cart. I had it in the cart. I could have done that, but I just said at the end of the day, I was like, fuck it. It's not worth the headache. I really want this thing. Just give it to me. Here's the 680. There you go. I was just like, just let it be done. And hot dog, once I had it, it felt so good. I'm just like, I finally got it. Yes.
Man. But I'll be honest with you though. I mean, I guess when you compare the two evils, 680 to 1200.
Yeah, no, I got way lucky. I just had to say, I got way lucky. I knew this person. I known them for a while, so I just got way lucky. Right?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Like, you're lucky I know you.
yeah, that's literally what happened. Yeah.
Oh man. But any other news you any of y'all know about M?
Let me see. What was my okay, now I tuned into the Friday show a bit, but I had to dip out. Did you guys touch over Cyberpunk?
The current technical difficulties.
It's yes. Yeah. We did talk about. Well, you know what? We haven't uploaded our Cyberpunk video yet because we got a little something in store for y'all.
Gotcha. Well, I'm of the belief that the best time to kick a man is when he's down. Shout out to Star.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that Cyberpunk is they're getting 4 ratings.
Hey man, look,
it's a shit show, man. It's a shit show.
That's what you get for trying to run a next gen game on a current gen console or last gen console. Okay, that's what you get.
I think it's partially that, but I chalk it up more to CD Projekt Red, man. A lot of people use the analogy of Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5. To me, GTA 5 is a much more interesting world to me as far as what you can do on the base consoles. So I just think CD Projekt Red, they were overhyped. It worked exactly. I think it might have been some glitches, but nothing fucking 15 frames per second, 10 frames per second.
That's atrocious.
Yeah, that's CG Projekt Red, and in comparison, it looks like shit. I mean, GTA has never been a graphical masterpiece, but it didn't look like complete dog shit like Cyberpunk.
Because let me see, because I got my Xbox copy right here, but I'm also playing it on Series X. So I'm getting at the end of the day, I'm getting the Xbox One X version. Right?
Yeah, but it's still, from my understanding, it's bumped up a bit more.
Oh yeah. It's a lot. But it's a lot better now. As far as Mr. Derp Derp, shout out to that man. He's been there in the comment sections for a cool minute. I like Cyberpunk. I really like Cyberpunk. There are certain things about it that just really grasp me. Right? I wouldn't have bought it twice if I feel like it wouldn't have mattered. I'm even thinking about upgrading to the CE just because it popped up on a couple of retailer sites, just so I can have it. I want that damn statue. All right. But but for the most part, honestly, I like the game. I just think, everybody was giving them shit. They were like, we need to get this game out. We're hemorrhaging money fast. What are we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I can't buy it, man. I can't buy it. That's not. You can't put it on a consumer and say, "Well, you asked for a shit product, so I gave you a shit product." It's their responsibility. They had 9 years. They have, hundreds of billions of dollars. I say it's unacceptable. It's on them.
I don't know about 100 billion or so. I don't know about that.
Highlight that.
Maybe not hundreds of billions. Excuse me. They do have hundreds of millions.
Highlight that derp comment. Okay, the game looks mediocre. The AI is dumb. I would have to disagree with you. Yes, I've had glitches, but I really haven't had like game breaking glitches. I've had more comedic glitches, just like funny shit, I would just just laugh at, that's really all I've had. Now playing on the Series X right now, I'm playing in quality mode. I turned off HDR.
Tech,
it's not
real quick,
bad. What?
real quick. I'm sorry to interject, man, but real
Mhm.
quick,
No, what?
from how you're describing it and Derp, this almost sounds like the launch of Skyrim. That's what it almost sounds.
Yeah, no, dude, no, it's very similar. I feel like it's very similar to Skyrim, like, but I don't think it's bad. Like, I don't think the game is bad. I still think the game for what it's worth, the story of the game itself is really good. The AI, yes, there's some, yeah. I know. I've like I said, I've had some funny shit happen, right? But like at the end of the day, I laugh. Yeah, I mean, this is a massive world. You got to think how huge this world is, right? Like this thing is freaking massive, and everything just can't go like just bright show tunes in the morning on Sunday cartoons. It's not just gonna be all sunshines and rainbows. There's got to be some issues.
Maybe Fireball can speak to this, but I would think that would partially be to game design because they could have stuff like correct me if I'm wrong, Tech. I haven't haven't played it yet, but instead of having a fully open world, they could have areas, and you move to those areas, so you have a bit of loading time, so everything's not in memory, so you can have better assets and everything. That's part of their game design.
Yeah, and I won't
like you, but then I took a mantis blade in the knee.
Now see, I can't agree with that because I chose Nomad. So like what? I chose Nomad on both my PC and my Xbox.
Okay, well, okay, way to sweep my legs out, Johnny. Way to go. way to sweep the leg. Thank you.
But anyway, guys, it's about that time where I got to dip out. Nice. But I will catch you, Emmanuel, tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And you, Mr. Nelson, you Fireboss. Hope to see you all there. TD Podcasts, 1:00. Can't wait to see you. All right.
Yes, sir. Good luck with that interview, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Straight up.
Cool, man. All right.
Get some rest. Go to sleep. He ain't going to sleep. He gonna play Cyberpunk. Going to that damn interview, eyes baggy and shit.
Oh man, that's a responsible gamer thing to do.
That makes sure that I'm alert. Oh man, but now to touch on, I guess you say to get my view about it. I want to try to give a short of a version of what I typed in the Series X Reddit that I help manage, and because this is a very is very hot. Yeah, this is a very hot topic. I mean, even with dirt, and stuff like that, this is a very, very sensitive and very hot topic because a lot of people feel very burnt and let down, by CD Projekt Red. All right, and what I'm about to say is not something to defend them because no, they how can I say this? It's one of those damn if you do, damn if you don't type of situations. And here's what I mean by that. They have already do this game. They have bitten off a very big chunk. All right. They've bitten off something, that was, far too big for them. Now, if this was something like, say, like Rockstar, where they have the backing of Take-Two or Microsoft themselves, then yes, this would have been a much more, this would have went a lot more smoother, mainly because the backing is there for what? A bigger staff. CD Projekt Red is pretty sizable. There's no mistake about that. But let's be real. They're not a Take-Two. They're not an EA. They're damn sure not a Rockstar. They're not a 343. They are not sizable for something that was this ambitious. All right. Now, granted that this is a cross-gen game here. Oh, hold on a second. The game is not what they described it to be months, years ago. Yeah. And I'm getting to that dirt. Yeah. And so, like I said, they bit off a chunk, that was a little bit too big for them. And what I'm getting at is that They were ambitious. All right. This whole thing that they tried to take on was very, very ambitious. This is something Cyberpunk was something that you could see Bethesda trying to take on.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And granted that they did Witcher and stuff like that, CD Projekt Red is no Bethesda. All right. And that's not putting them down. It really isn't. It's just that it's not the same size of team and the same and you know with that same capability.
Yeah.
Now if they now
And experience.
yeah. So basically what you're dealing with is remember how many times this game has been delayed and pushed out. It's been delayed and pushed out like God, like what, like almost what, seven or so times?
Yeah, I think 5 or 6 at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Well the thing is I'm thinking well, I know the last number I heard was 5, but if I'm thinking way back to when it was first revealed, I think it was a little bit more than 5.
Mm.
And it's just and the thing is that this is because it wasn't a thing of that they was trying to chase a specific like vision or anything like that. It's just that it was just too massive for what the whole design was. Now your idea of like, oh, they could just make like a hub area and like I guess like make like levels that branch off from there. That I guess you could say if they did something like that, it would completely break the whole, I guess, immersion of what they were trying to make this game to be, which is supposed to be like an open world RPG. So the way I kind of see it is that as teed off as a lot of people would have been, what they could have done, in my opinion, is did what say like Epsoft choose to do, the guys who were doing Scorn. Whereas they went ahead and that once they knew about the hardware of the Series X and stuff like that, what Xbox was doing, they were like, forget this mess running on anything older.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Medium with Bloober Team. Bloober Team was going because the Medium was originally going to, they was going to try to make that work on the 360. That's how old the game is. The idea rather.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't wrap their brains of how, around how to do it. And once they, saw what the hardware is supposed to be for the Series X, then they were like, oh, forget this. And they just started, started moving the code that they were going to use for the 360 for the Series X and S. So to me,
you mean 360 or Xbox One?
Well, no, not the Xbox One. I'm talking about the Series X.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Medium was they actually was planning out the Medium since the 360. That is actually that old. And they were going to try to get it on the Xbox One, but the Xbox One still was using that old antiquated Jaguar mess. So that wasn't going to cut it. So once they saw that they were going to the RDNA 2 stuff, they were like, okay, all right, this is what we're looking for. This is it. So to me, I guess what they were looking at from a PR standpoint was that we done already pushed this thing back so many times. And we're already starting to get like, our employees are getting death threats. We're getting, we're getting a lot of bad press. And our investors are like, starting to question us. And the other factor is that the game is dragged on for so long. It is already just about done ate through their funds.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's why I said this was a damn if you do, damn if you don't type of scenario.
I can't give him any excuses, man. I mean, like you said, Fireboss, this was planned. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe 2012. So a 3090 was not even conceptualized back then. So whatever the only thing that is possible to happen is if they lied and only showed concept. They had nothing designed. I think this game is 3 or 4 years old. There's no fucking way this is a 9-year-old game. The only way possible is if they had concept. You can't have a game that it still doesn't even work properly on a 3090. And you said this game was developed for a PS4 and an Xbox One. It should have run on those games. It should have run on those consoles at the very least. So I can respect the scope as far as from a design standpoint. But the scope was never going to work on the consoles that they said it was coming out for. Even when they announced it, Xbox Series X or PS5 hadn't even been conceptualized. Those things didn't even come until development until 2017 for both, respectively. So yeah. I can't buy it, man. I can't cut them any excuses. They're extremely overhyped. I never was into The Witcher. From poking around, The Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 weren't really open world. Only Witcher 3. And I wasn't really impressed by Witcher. It was decent, but I wasn't too impressed. So all of this hype, man, and they just let it happen. They took that Sony approach. I guess they didn't, No, they didn't take the Sony approach. They fed into the hype. This was a heavily marketed game. All the magazines, that's marketing funds, man. They paid for all of that coverage, to some degree. So I say this is on them, man. I can't, I'm reveling in this. I don't want to say I wanted the game to fail. People's families are actually on the line with this. Oh no, they didn't fail. They're profitable, but I wanted CD Projekt Red to be knocked down because people with all that CD Projekt Red stuff, I never saw it, man. I was not impressed. I'm not even a GTA guy. I don't like it for the content, but I can respect what the hell what Rockstar does. Those guys are good developers. That is how you do open world, and there's still room for improvement there. But this is this is robbery, man. This is robbery.
Yeah, and the thing is, I agree with you. As I reiterate, this is definitely not me making an excuse for them. This is seriously a damn if you do, damn if you don't scenario. Whereas like the logical thing would have been to go ahead and just ate the L, yeah, and delay it again. Just go ahead. Yeah. Matter of fact, when they delayed it just a month ago, what they should have done was just said, you know what, we want to make sure you got. We're going to pull a 3-4-3 for you guys. We want to make sure you have the best thing, and and deal with the people. Deal with the heckling. Deal with it.
Most people were still on their side.
Dude, most of them dudes are that heckle anyway. Like with Halo's delay and all that. They ain't gonna get the game. They want to never touch that damn game. So to me, it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because from my standpoint, that and I'm a smaller guy. From my standpoint of when I led my own development team and stuff like that, no, dude, Barricade, our game got pushed back so damn much. It's easier for us because we're a smaller team and nobody knew what the fuck Barricade was. But at the same time, when I knew the polish wasn't there, it wasn't there. And you can't sit there demanding people's money if the polish is not up to snuff to where it's worth somebody's coinage. Now in CD Projekt Red's case, in my opinion and stuff like that, what happened was this, from a developer standpoint, there's a term that we call feature creep. There's a term that we call feature creep. Feature creep is basically when you have a concept, right? Now you go ahead and get the concept working, right? Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we got a little bit more time, a little bit more budget. Let's try this. Okay, let's try this. Oh, let's try this too. Now, all the stuff that you keep tacking in and adding in, something eventually is going to conflict with something else and is going to break something. And I want to say that it's one of those things where it would be nice to, be that, be the fly in the room and stuff. But a lot of this sounds like they became victims of feature creep because remember at one point where they had it where you could like scale the walls with the mantis blades and stuff like that, and you can wall run and stuff. They took you saw like the month before they made the delay, they took that away. Yeah,
the second delay, yeah, right.
Yeah, they removed it. Yeah, Derp's right. So many there's many things missing. And that whole, and then also the whole thing. And see, whenever somebody says this, I call bullshit. Now, here it is, you got Skyrim able to give you third person. All right. Unless the game is a first person shooter, a bona fide first person shooter, most open world RPGs, I say most, allow you to go to a third person. Because that was one of yeah, that's right. I'm camp third person, all right. Because I know there's people like, oh, give it a damn rest. No, straight up and down. Well, I would like to have third person. And when it was brought up in one of their community streams, they shot it down quick, like, oh no, that would destroy the immersion. That's when you call bullshit. That's just like what State of Decay 2 with that dev team. I got kicked. I got kicked. I mean, I love State of Decay, but I got kicked out of that chat quick because me along with a lot of other people called bullshit when we were asking, like, well, yeah, the game is kind of boring when you got this big, vast open world out in rural, whatever America, and there's no weather, there's no rain, there's no wind. I mean, the environments are just static. There's no living animals around whatsoever. I mean, it's just static. Yeah. And the guy that I guess handles the Unreal Engine for them, more or less, this to me sounds like this is like an issue of skill. Whereas his excuse as to why they don't have rain is because, oh, we tried it, but what happens is that we can get it to rain, but it'll rain inside your base as well, inside your houses. And I'm like, that's the most lamest shit I ever heard in my damn life. Because I've seen
give us a canopy mechanic.
Dude, I've seen many games done in Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 3 that had rain outside of a doggone house or cave. Yeah. And you're gonna tell me, I was like, oh hell no. So yeah, we got kicked out. So CD Projekt Red situation sounds just like that, where they became victims of their own feature creep. And at the last minute, stuff was breaking. So stuff was probably breaking like way before they even pushed this game out.
I can appreciate that, but a ray tracing should not even, that shouldn't be a problem for this game, because all of this stuff did not exist in 2012. Like you said, yeah, as these features came in, they probably tried to tack them on, but
yeah, and
I don't think this game was done. I think they just got this game done, 4 or 5 years ago, man.
I think what it is that as they saw how, I guess you say the hardware was, what direction the hardware was going, that's when all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, maybe we can push for this and push for this, and they started breaking stuff. And I believe the other issue wasn't so much as the consumer, the community, and all the heckling and the trolling. I believe the strongest one behind pushing them to do this was the investors.
Yeah.
Because remember the key thing I was saying. Their stocks were going down. Investors were losing faith in them.
Yeah.
They were losing money. They were getting to a point to where when you have investors and it's getting so bad to the point that you're gnawing into your own stock for one project, nah, man, that's not good. That's not good. And these are people, especially during a hard time right now with this COVID stuff, trying to have money to feed their own families. So that's what it sounded like. It sounded like that they got strong armed by the studio heads and the investors.
Even then, man, it's still not acceptable as far as where this shit looks like Superman 64. On the base consoles.
Come on now. Come on now. Oh God, no.
It looks terrible.
How dare you bring that buffoonery up in my podcast. How dare you, sir, deserve a knee. Have a mute.
Oh man.
But
it's bad, man. It's bad.
yeah, and
I think it does look great on the new hardware, but
but that's the thing.
yeah.
Why it had to only be the new hardware and people with a decent rig in order to experience that. So that's why yeah, dude, I'm with you. Whereas like
Yeah.
the logical thing to me should have been just take the bag of L's, just take it, go in your corner, eat it, and delay it. Just do a 3-4-3. 3-4-3 has dude, 3-4-3 has only suffered through how much heckling? What, only like 2 months worth of heckling? With the occasional one or two troll popping up saying something.
Yeah. I think it's pretty much died down now, since they got the updated screens, and
Now people
everyone
have actually
understands is this is a good thing. I think that's a silver lining from the Cyberpunk stuff. People get it like, oh, this was a good thing that Halo was delayed.
Yeah, and all before they were talking all sorts of shit. Look what's going on. The Xbox don't know what they're doing. Yeah. Okay. Well, so now I hope that the situation with Cyberpunk makes people like this who are on the outside looking in, as far as game development goes, understand that game development is not like how you like used to look at something like, say, like RPG Maker on the PlayStation, or Click and Create. If any of y'all are old enough to remember that, for those who want to start doing their own game development, real world, real life game design, where you're trying to make a game that functions the way it's supposed to, beyond working just on a PC. Click and Create is not going to do it, bruh. You got to use C++, or in some cases C itself, or C sharp. Especially if you're like, doing PlayStation. I mean, you got to know all these languages and everything. And this stuff takes time. And everything you do, I mean, you can have it where the character is able to move around and walk in the 3D plane, but the moment you hit the jump button, the whole thing crashes. It's a headache and a half. And I mean, I know it's in my voice, the stress, because it's real. I've been in that, man. It's real. And that's why I'm very much pro delay. I come from camp delay. And that's the way I see it. Whereas, like, the smart thing that they should have went for was, instead of saying we're going to just delay it a month, they should have said, you know what? It's coming out next year. We're going to bring it spring.
Just an indefinite delay, it's going to be done when it's done. I mean, nobody batted an eye. Who was that? What's the people that make that Portal game? They said something like that. Or was that Bethesda? It was either Valve or Bethesda who said, the game's done when it's done. And people, I think people, kind of Bethesda. Okay, yeah, I think people kind of, they kind of look sideways at it, but they understood. Yeah, it is what it is, and that's kind of how they operate, and that's how it should be. Don't give me a shit product. I think they literally stole from people, man. I think something has to happen where they should,
Yes. And that,
they got to give back some money.
Like I said, dude, in that situation, and see, that's the key word you bring up: money. I'm telling you that the issue was that they got strong armed by the investors. The investors were like, "Well, look, you've been at this for X amount of years. We're not seeing any returns. You're not getting any more money from us until we start seeing some sort of return." And where CD Projekt Red went wrong, they went wrong going along with it.
Yeah, I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, man.
I was, Halo got a lot of hate for, they were talking about splitting it up, but I think that might have been a better financial move for CD Projekt Red, as far as they didn't have any negative press. If they would have released that multiplayer part, because they said they're working on it, so it's coming soon. Release that multiplayer part, release the microtransactions, get some money from that, and finish up that story, the story part. But this is gonna hit them hard, man. I think they said they already lost 20% of their stock value.
Yeah. So bad, so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much else I can say about it except, Mr. Nelson, you've been over there stroking your beard. Let's hear what you got to say. Wise man on the mountain.
Well, I'm gonna keep mine short because
No, you're not.
ironic. No, I'm being serious. Ironically enough, earlier today, me and Mr. Texton were covering this in another video, not part of the TD podcast, but it's there's a little something else on the side that we're working on. And I gave
Nice.
my spill about the situation going on with CG Project Red. And what I will say in terms of what I addressed in that on that video is I'm gonna address here as well is I will commend CG Project Red for at least let it be known, like, you know what, we'll own up to what we did. We own up to the mistakes, at least in terms of just how the state of the game came out. But at the same time, and again, and I'm glad you brought this up too, Mr. Boss, is at the end of the day, they have to how do I say this? They can speak for themselves. So I'm not going to try to damage control or anything like that. That's not my intent. What I'm about to say. But what I think is important to consider is that now, and again, I don't know about everyone else's personal experience, but I just want to kind of like take this back to high school days when you were doing projects, team projects, and especially those kind of projects that took weeks and weeks to finish. You get what I'm saying? Like, say if you did stop motion project where you did like maybe like a 15 to maybe 20-second stop motion picture, right? Now, I don't know about y'all, but when they tell you it's going to take you at least maybe 2 months to get 20 seconds, they mean that. And I'm talking about every day you do that. Every day you're outside or you're inside or wherever you're trying to shoot the shots. And here's the thing, not just taking the shots, but make sure they're coming correctly. And if a shot is messed up, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go back where you were and you're going to have to reshoot it again. You might have to reshoot it several times. And so the thing is this, taking that experience from high school, and now let's say if we apply it to, unfortunately, where CG Project Red is right now, I have to put it like this. For one, in terms of, because here's the thing, we weren't shown gameplay in terms of what Cyberpunk was supposed to be when it first came out, in terms of its initial announcement. That's an important thing I do want y'all to just take in consideration. Or excuse me, keep that bear in mind. I almost forgot. But to the point being, what I'm trying to say is, I'm willing to give them a sense of grace, because to an extent, speaking not in terms of just high school experience, but talking about the TD podcast experience, because honestly, our last podcast did not go the way that we wanted to go. And the thing is, y'all, we worked hard in the background to get certain things we wanted to do for that upcoming event for the Game Awards, but it didn't pan out the way that we wanted it. And a lot of us felt upset about it, or at least I'll say me and Mr. Textorm felt very upset about it. But, something I shared with him afterwards is, at the end of the day, we just live and we learn, and we got to move on to the next best thing. And ultimately, I think that's what CG Project Red is going to have to do. And here's the thing. An important thing I do want to bring up is, what's the name of the game? No Man's Sky. Because you got to remember, y'all.
Oh, if you look at an example right there.
Right. If you look at No Man's Sky, let's all be honest. Put your hands up if you want to. But how many of us would have even predicted back then that it would be at the state that it is right now? That it would still have a fan base right now? That it would still even have the studio to work on this right now? So to me, I don't think it's impossible that CG Project Red can get Cyberpunk to where I think ideally all those years ago they wanted it to be. I do think it's going to take a lot out of the fan base to keep supporting it, however they choose to support it. However, to you, Emmanuel, you are by all means in your right to feel the way you feel and say, I'm not going to support that. And you know what? Maybe somewhere down the road, when they have it at the state that it should have been, perhaps you'll give it a second chance. But until then, I respectfully understand your stance on it. And you're absolutely not wrong. And in fact, too, I want to point out something, too, that Derp has been mentioning before, is that, yes, there are a lot of things missing. And should we make excuses for things that ultimately was up for them to decide what they were going to do with it? Because here's the thing, and again, something you brought up before, boss, and I love that you always bring this up because again, I don't think people who are on the casual side of gaming don't or not even gaming, excuse me, but just business in general. When it comes to certain businesses, you have to look at the investors who put money into those companies, even in a bakery. The thing is, if you wonder why,
I keep saying, sorry to interject real quick, but I want to make this clear. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make it short. I'm gonna make this clear. And this is not no boss raging against the machine or any crap like that. But hear me out and understand this. Investors don't give a shit. Okay? They're only in the game for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to make money. Yeah. You think some wealthy billionaire investor from Texas, 59 years old, or 68 years old, gives a damn about a cyberpunk? If he's investing, the only reason he's investing is because his broker is telling him, his advisor, his financial advisor is saying, hey, this gaming stuff is a multi-billion-dollar thing, or because he sees his son like sinking so many hours and so much money off of his personal card, you know, with his what's the word I'm looking for? His allowance in buying all these microtransactions and stuff. And he's thinking to himself like, man, that's a lot of money right there. I could, you know, that's the way, you know, a lot of them look at stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. You do have some investors that do see your vision and they want to feed into your vision. That's what you call an angel investor. But those dudes are like a unicorn. They're very, you don't find them, they find you, and they're very hard to come across. And in CD Projekt Red's case, I don't think they found any angel investors.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's but I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No, sir, and you absolutely fine. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because this is why I was gonna get to, and I'm gonna finish my thoughts on this, is for the ambition. And again, Mr. Balls, please clarify for me, because I want to say again, either it was hold on. It was either Hebot or what's the other
T Reaper
name? No, not the T Reaper.
Tuckmaster.
Thank you, Tuckmaster, who has said that again with some of these developers, their ambition in terms of how they utilize their technology that's before them, they choose, like, again, going back to what you said about, it's like you take too much of a chunk. And then here's the thing, I'll use this analogy with what you said before, boss, is if you take a huge chunk of, let's say, a burger, you got two choices to make when it's in your mouth. Either somewhere in your mind, you have to decide either I'm going to spit this out or I'm going to swallow. And if I swallow it, I'm going to choke. Now, out of these two options, there's a clear definition of what's going to happen. If you spit the burger out or the chunk of burger that's in your mouth, you're obviously going to discuss the people around you. Because like,
gonna lose out on your burger. Good Lord, how much you paid on it.
Right. But here's the other option. If you swallow it, there is that chance you're going to choke, and you don't know who's going to be around to save you. And shoot, look at the way the state of the world is right now. We want to implement it in this day and age. You don't even know for a fact if anyone will even be close to you. So at the end of the day, it's in your hand to decide, are you going to fall on the sword or not? If you're going to fall on the sword, I mean, you go out on your own terms, sure. But there's also that option of saying, I'm going to put my sword away and I have to suffer the consequences that be. I might get captured, I might be tortured, but I still have another day to live and try to figure things out. And so that's why I think CD Projekt Red is where they are right now. And you know what? I honestly do hope that, again, I don't recall what studio who does No Man's Sky, but I would love to see them reach out to CD Projekt Red and show their support in terms of wanting to see that game evolve to where it should be. And I think that would benefit them. Now, again, going in the future, I personally would want to try out. See, I would want to try out Cyberpunk for myself. But here's the thing. I'm going to go into it knowing what it is. I'm not going to make an assumption of what it should be. I'm going to go in what it is. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't meet everyone's expectations, that's perfectly fine. I have my own or the lack of to go in it and say, I'm going to play this game as it is. Now, don't get twisted. I'm not saying I'm going to make excuses for playing hard garbage. Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, I'm willing to take myself out of my own personal shoes or my biases or what have you to experience a game that, let's say, I would not have gotten an opportunity to do so if CG Project Red didn't put it out in there into the world. But ultimately, we'll just have to see. Now, at the end of the day, I don't want this game to fail. But if it happens, it happens. And if that be the case, I just hope that all of us learn a valuable lesson going forward. And again, one that I definitely feel we all can agree upon is it definitely either one need to be delayed so that all the platforms that this game was going to come on was going to work, let's just say decently. Because we were going to have the patches one way or another. We already knew that. We can't pretend that wasn't going to be the case. But again, it should have been in a state that was at least decent before it could get to the greatness. Because that's most likely going to come later. That is what it is.
Yeah.
But in a state where it's unplayable, especially for the console, for people who have access to the consoles of last gen, and you have to look at it from an economic standpoint, what we have right now. Not everyone, unfortunately, can't get their hands on the latest hardware that would run this game at its best, or again, at its most decent in the state that it released. So again, I'm not trying to make no excuses for CG Project Red. I will just say that, you know what, it doesn't hurt to give them some grace. And now if they abuse it, take it away from them. But if they don't and they being sincere with it, I just say give them a chance. But that's just me. That's just me on my own personal note. But I'll finish my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say the takeaway from this one was with the Game Pass, man.
Well, you got me, Emmanuel. So I appreciate that.
All right. Well, let's see. Any other news you guys came across?
Oh, let me see. Well, we already covered Cyberpunk. I'm trying to think anything else that we can touch on. That comes up to my mind. I'm trying to think. Well, what's that?
Yeah, because news has been a little on the slow side, this week, and I believe it's mainly because everybody's ramping down for the holidays now.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you know what? I guess it's not necessarily news, but more so what I do want to ask real quick before both of y'all is in terms of, and I'm gonna use Cyberpunk as an example for this. Going into the new life cycle of the current gen consoles, do you think that we're going to see a shift in terms of people's behavior towards delays, not just in terms of the consumers, but also for the investors? Do you think there's going to be a shift within how we approach delays or how we approach certain actions that might make the game inaccessible for a time being before it can be fully put out to the marketplace? Do you see that coming anytime soon, or do you think we're still some time away from getting to that threshold? I'll say that.
Oh, we already are seeing it. I mean, I mean, as far we already are seeing it. I mean, when you think about all the ones who like make just make a molehill out, out of the whole a mountain out of a molehill with the whole thing, it's usually, when you compare them to the majority, it's usually like a handful of people. It's not always the greater majority, because a good majority, will usually accept the fact that, okay, it's what it is. Give us a polished product. There's still going to be a little disdain, but they're gonna hold out. They're gonna hold out for greatness. Now, once again, investors, that's a different that's a totally different apple to bite into. It's you're dealing with people with a very frivolous nature, where it's about my turnaround. And people think I joke when I say this. When an investor gives you like $50 million, they invest $50 million in their company. They're not expecting 50 million back. They don't want 100 million back. Doggone it, they better be seeing like 175 and more back. And that's what you're dealing with. And the thing is, the longer you're holding on to that bag, their money, the longer they have to wait for it to come back. So that's it almost becomes like dealing with loan sharks. That's what it almost becomes like. And that's why you have investor board meetings and stuff. That's why you have chairman of the board and stuff, chairman of the boards and everything. That's why, like, some TV shows or movies, you may see this guy. He's the guy who started this company. He's the founder. He's the owner of the company, or he's supposed to be the owner. But yet he's sweating buckets to go into this meeting with these people, because these people have they have the capacity to vote him off of his own island.
I guess I don't necessarily think that's a negative thing. I mean, because I guess, like you said, it's a loan shark. I mean, this is not that it's quote unquote right. I don't think it's wrong. But this is you go into that, the people go into that agreement knowing what it is, and it's their responsibility to deliver. I mean, it would be like if you parent somebody to build a house and they don't build your house. They say they're going to do it in 5 years. Now you're 9 years down the road. I want my damn house. I mean, I really don't care what you have to say. Where's my shit? So I don't think that's a negative thing.
Yeah. So yeah, and so that's the thing. Whereas, like, as even Derp is even saying and stuff like that, we as the consumers, as the gamers, we're already conditioned. We're already at that point where, oh crap, it's being pushed back another month. Oh, it's being pushed back another 2 months. Yeah, all right. I ain't happy about it. Yeah, I'm gonna blast social media about it, but it's what it is. I have to live with it. But with an investor, as Emmanuel was colorfully laying out, nah. This is like dealing with a dope dealer named Baby. You don't hold on to Baby's money. I know you got my bag, man. Like,
I know I'd be pissed,
Mm-hmm. You're like, okay. Shoot. Like, you better boy, you best have my money. Before you come out in this parking lot, you better reach down in your pocket. You better make some phone calls. You better do something. But I expect all my money.
Right. Actually, you know what? With that being said, though, I do want to I do want to ask a kind of like a follow-up question to that. Then, how do I say this? What ways do you think we could possibly find a middle ground in terms of where we can, of course, keep the economy in terms of the gaming industry alive and well, but at the same time, we're not forsaking the consumer in terms of, I guess, making sure that what they're purchasing is fair. And granted, again, what I say fair, that may not translate for everybody's own personal definition. But when I say fair, I'm talking about everyone knows what they're getting into, and that everyone's treated as if they are an intellectual who understands what they're getting into. Again, like say for vices, there's a reason why vices are deemed victimless crimes, because these people put themselves in those kind of situations. Now, because they understand what's going on, then what comes to pass is not something that can be blamed on this and the third person. It's on you. So, like for instance, like if we look at microtransactions, it makes sense why microtransactions are being more prominent within the game industry like it was before. Like it started more oftentimes in the realm of, let's say, DLCs, but then you started seeing it how it developed on the marketplace in terms of mobile games. And the thing, or I'll use a better example. You could look at games like, say, Genshin Impact, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I really do like the game. I played on my PlayStation 4, and I'm not gonna front and act as if I can't tell that obviously the microtransactions are there, but would I say that the microtransactions are unfair, that they are malicious, or they are, say, quote unquote bad? I wouldn't personally say that. I would say the way they implement microtransaction in that game makes sense. It has an incentive. However, they are willing to at least make it fair for the people to say, if you don't want to purchase our microtransaction, that doesn't mean you cannot still further improve yourself within the game. Now, yes, the RNG is there, but the RNG at times, yes, unfortunately, may not play in your favor, but the game still provides the tools for you to still be able to get through it. Even if when RNG is not in your favor, you still are capable of playing the game. You still are able to enjoy it for what it is. But that's more on a personal note. But to get to my question now is, again, what would it take for us to get to that middle ground to where, again, investors can, of course, make their money back, let's say at least close to 3 times, but the consumer is putting forth their money to something that at the end of the day respects them enough to say, this is what we are providing, this is what we're doing to make sure that it's probably supported, financially speaking, what we're going to do, what we need to do to make sure you guys are satisfied with your purchases.
Yeah, see,
that's what I do want to ask.
Yeah, see now, see the way you're describing it, you're practically, encroaching on Kickstarter territory. the whole crowd funding thing, whereas you're dealing with smaller projects, and in some cases big projects, where they don't want to deal with the risk, because dealing with investors is high risk. That's one of the reasons I didn't get into it, because it's very high risk. And the thing about it is that, see, investors have their own code of ethics. It sounds cutthroat, the way I describe them, but they have their own code of ethics. They have their own laws. There's laws for trading and stuff. I mean, how you think Martha Stewart got hemmed up? She broke some laws. I mean, it's not just her. I mean, a lot of people, break these laws every day. And from what you're describing, there's probably rules in place where, they probably can't do something like that, but there's probably ways around it. But the thing is that it's kind of hard to get any sort of investor on board for that long of a period of time. We're talking about something that could last for 7 to 9 years. If the only thing you can do is make it clear to them up front that, hey, look, this project is going to cost us X amount of money. And in other words, you use a chart, a flow chart or whatever it is, a graph. And because, whenever you have investor meetings, that's what you're doing, is you're basically making this presentation outline to them as to what's the cost, what's the production cost, what's the time span you're looking at. And the time span you give them is always, you can't give them a definite time span. You have to give them a fuzzy area. It could, whatever you're doing could probably take you 3 years, but you want to probably say something like 5 years, but you're given it 5 years to kind of feel out the room. Because if they're kind of like, oh, okay, all right, stroking their chin and, nodding their head, then that gives you and your team some extra time where you ain't got to work them like Hebrew slaves, and and trying to put the pyramid together. And there's no need for crunch. All right. But if you're dealing with investors who are more hard nosed or know the industry, and if you're giving them the quote of 3 years, they're going to expect that 3 years. So it's one of those things where it's like it would be good if I actually talked to an investor and met one. Whereas I could talk to them on a daily basis and bringing them in and give their perspective and stuff like that. This would be nice, but from my outside dealings, like with one that was interested in our project one time, it's like no, it's not really, like I said, it's not really in their nature to be waiters. They're more in the line of like, it's like you're the goose with the laying their golden egg. They're feeding you, and they expect that golden egg to be laid within a month. And if you're going over that month, that's when questions start being asked as to who's in charge of this farm and does he need to be replaced. See what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
and that makes complete. And you know what? Again, I'm so glad you brought this up about ethics, because that is important to understand, y'all. Is just what Boss said. Is everyone has a set code of ethics for any and every kind of situation they might find themselves in. And at the end of the day, we cannot ignore the human nature within these things. Because yes, you can't have those kinds of investors that can be described as angel investors. Like they just swoop in and they just save your ass. And unfortunately, they can be such a rare commodity because let's say their code of ethics is not the norm of what they deal with in terms of that kind of business. Or let's say this, their code of ethics allows them to bend, not break these rules, but bend it enough to where they can get a piece of cake, but not eat it themselves. This is the important part. It's not about them eating the piece of cake. It's them evenly dividing the cake up and make sure everyone who can get a piece of it. They know they can't get the whole cake, but they can at least get a slice and make sure everyone around them can get a good portion of it for what it is. So what I'm thinking, and that's the thing, I look at that example and I can think that's why I was asking the question. I think it's possible, but I think it kind of goes in the realm of something you've brought before multiple times, Boss, is about going back to Sony, or not specifically Sony, but with Japanese companies. There's a certain way of thinking or old ways of perceiving business that cannot survive. It won't survive. And that's how I personally look at it right now within the game industry in the realm of, and again, by any means, you never know who may watch this podcast or listen to the podcast. If there's anyone out there who is an investor within the industry, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be quote unquote video games, just anywhere necessarily, but probably better for video games. But if y'all watching this, please hit us up. Because I would love to have that kind of conversation, be if it's on Fireboss's channel or even on TD Podcast, Tech Storm on YouTube. We would love to have these kinds of conversations because, again, I think it is possible. And I'll say this: I think it's possible where those rare instances can become the norm, but I don't expect it anytime soon. But it has to be worked on. Someone has to create the conversation, and actually, someone has to make those kind of connections.
I'm sure the conversation came up. I'm sure it came up, but the thing is, I'm sorry to interject on you again. No. It's just that to add more meat to your plate on this is that this is one of those things. I guess you say the best example I can throw at all of you is Game Pass. What investor in his mind was whacked the hell out to greenlight something like Game Pass? See, investing is gambling. It's legalized gambling, in the most purest form, because that's what you're doing is you're taking a high stakes gamble, and stuff like that. That's why you see so many people get addicted to it, to e-trading and stuff like that, because that's exactly what it's like. It's like, sitting there playing, slots on your iPad or something like that. You're gambling. And the reason I use Game Pass as the example is think about how outlandish this was. And if you're an investor yourself, you just empty your brain from being a consumer. I know that's hard to do, but think about it. All right. You're sitting at the same table during Phil and Matt's presentation about Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably thinking to yourself like, whoa, wait a minute. We've been selling games this way for decades. It still makes money. And that's where I'm getting at. And that's one of the reasons what's going on with even, say, the Japanese. The only way it's going to stop working, and I mean, the only way they're going to stop doing things that way is it's got to stop making money.
Mm-hmm.
So just like the whole thing about people talking about like, exclusives are bad for the business. Halo should be on all boxes and crap like that and stuff like that. Well, yeah, here's how that's going to work. That way it's got to stop making money. That's the only way that's going to change. Now, me personally, I like exclusives. I prefer exclusives because I don't look at consoles the same way as I look at a DVD player on the bargain bin at Walmart. Whereas like, oh yeah, okay, so these do the same thing and play the same thing. Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, one's got Wi-Fi, one's got Netflix on it. I don't see consoles being that way. And maybe that's my own antiquated thinking. But from a marketing standpoint, if I want my hardware to sell, yeah, I know I'm gonna make a loss on it, but if I want it to sell, I gotta make it attractive to you.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make you interested. How the hell am I gonna make? I mean, that's the situation. Let's hit Mike's Fireboss's Wayback Machine. I've been through the video game crash. I lived through that. That's how old I am. Atari and ColecoVision had practically the same damn thing as the other one had, and the quality that they were putting out was shit. It wasn't getting any better. And they weren't making any effort whatsoever to make it better. Then along came ET. And that's what led to that. And so to me, it's like when you see things that came about in the past, like the Nintendo Gold Standard, and how Nintendo always strong-armed developers to hold to that standard and everything. That was their way of trying to keep a high level of quality so that we try to, dance around, avoid trying to like go into that crash territory again. And then the whole exclusive things. All right, exclusives to me is basically another form of quality. All right, we want to make sure that you get this experience and you enjoy it here. You got any complaints, you put them here because we can address them here. It costs us more of an overhead if we got to address them over there too. But yeah, but I got kind of long-winded on that. Sorry for that. But like I said, the only way that's going to, something like that is going to ever change, just to bring this to a short, Mr. Nelson, is that it has to stop making money. That's the only way. But as long as it keeps making money, that's why I always keep saying that Phil's whole thing of how he hates exclusives and he wants them to go away. And he says things and sometimes does things to try to push that narrative, like, agreeing with Moon Studios to allow Ori on the Switch. I hope y'all saw them follow-up interviews with that. He hated it. He hated that he did it now.
I was gonna say Phil didn't say that. That was something that got twisted. When he made those comments about exclusives, he was talking about on Xbox. He was talking about cross gen, which Phil Ryan switched on. So when people twisted that comment, he was talking about exclusives to the new generation as far as Xbox Series X. He was saying those shouldn't necessarily be exclusive. You should be able to play your games on the recent hardware too, being Xbox One, Xbox One X. So people twisted at it. He never said console exclusives are bad. Phil Spencer has never said that. Like you're saying, no. He's saying they're a good thing.
Oh no. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. But I mean before all that, well, like around the time frame when like Ori was allowed and Minecraft Dungeons was allowed and stuff like that. Minecraft being on other platforms was understandable because that was an agreement that was made, and plus it costs more money to take it away than to just leave it alone. If it's Minecraft 2, I wouldn't. Yeah, logically, myself, I wouldn't like forecast seeing that. But the reason why I said Phil wind up hating doing allowing Ori to go was because it's creating this false, I guess you say this falsehood where everything that Microsoft does is now being expected to run on everyone else's hardware, and it's in a PR stance is really biting them in the butt. So when they turn around and they're trying to do their thing, oh look at lying Phil, look at Xbox, they backing out, and it's like but they never made that promise.
Yeah, that was a Moon Studios thing, and that was like a happy wife, happy life type of thing. That wasn't Xbox. They didn't own. I think it was before they bought the rights to Ori. So they didn't own it. So it was what it was.
Yeah, they did that to help them out because Moon Studios refused to sell. They're one of those ones that refused to sell, and Microsoft did want it to acquire them. But they were like, no, we want to do this and do that. And I mean, you have to accept that. You have to respect it. But at the same time, it's like, dude, we're talking about a company that will give you over $100 million on top. You ain't got to pay your people no more. They paying your people. You take that $100 million and you put it towards your project.
Yeah.
And you're going to have all that, and don't go into the whole thing of like, oh, we want to make sure, because see, if you was going Sony, then that'd be a question of, well, how am I going to make my money if I'm locked to your platform? That's, to me, that's an irrelevant fear now if you get bought by Microsoft, because your game is going to be allowed on Steam, PC, physical form, and dude, I mean, it's a far shot, but I wouldn't be surprised if they even somehow or another work out a deal with GOG. Especially with this thing they got with CD Projekt Red, because CD Projekt Red owns GOG.
Yeah, I think they need to stay away from CD Projekt Red.
Like, boy, that was salty. Hey, Mr. Nelson, pass that water over here real quick.
Oh, I got you. There you go. It's coming at you.
Like good Lord, man. Like Emmanuel. Dude, who taught you how to cook, man?
Oh man.
Like everybody in my family got high blood pressure, and I got high blood pressure. That's the way we like it.
I mean, a little salt ain't never hurt nobody.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave it at that, man, because I've dragged that on too long, and I didn't mean to. I apologize, but yeah, the answer you, Nelson, once again, as I said before, in order for these things to change, it's got to stop making money. And the same with how the antiquated way the Japanese want to do stuff. I mean, in a sense, they have changed, but they changed towards a mobile platform because they see the mobile platform as being more profitable. For some odd reason, they still don't want to see, give Game Pass a shot as being profitable. They're not seeing that. It's there, but you just have your ones that just don't want to see that. And the only way things will change is something has got to die. Something has got to stop making money to where it's like, okay, I think we better give this a shot. Because that's where I applaud Namco Bandai, because they see that. They see that. And I think in a sense they don't want to admit it, but I know Square sees it too, because they're starting to allow more stuff on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that was foolish to allow Sony to get away with yanking 2 years off of something that they could be making more money from if they were allowed to put it on other boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, if you want that type of relationship, why don't you go ahead and put a ring on it? Just buy us. They ain't got the money for that. And I'll keep bringing it up, and I'll say it again, doggone it. That's a situation like Blue Point. If you're gonna keep working them like that, put a ring on it. Buy them, Sony. Buy them. Give them. Don't be sticking them out there where it's like they got to be right there on their knees waiting for the next morsel that fall from the table. Pay them. And that's a situation we're dealing with. So I'm sorry. I will end it there and let somebody else go, because I used up a good bit of time. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. I think a quick answer for that question, Nelson. When I heard you describing that, I thought of games as a service, man. So I think the industry is already kind of moving in that situation where a little bit of a la carte gaming. If you want it, you can pay for it. If you want extra skins, you can pay for extra skins. I don't too much like the idea of locking campaigns or that type of stuff, but I love the idea of DLC. 4 or 5 hour DLC being something you can purchase $10, especially with stuff like Game Pass. If I can play the main game in Game Pass and pay $10 for the DLC, I still feel like I've gotten a huge deal. So I think that's the future of how to satisfy the devs and gamers. Both feel like they're getting something out of the equation.
Yes. And you know what? I'll end my thoughts on this now with Game Pass, because I'm thankful you did bring it up, because that is a great example of just how the dynamic that we've been going through has shifted. Because again, that's what I said before. I've said it multiple times, and I keep saying it. I would love to see other companies or and again, not even just necessarily in the gaming industry, but let's just stay with that for right now. I would love for them to implement the tactics that Microsoft is utilizing right now, because again, if you like I said before, regardless if you're pro Sony, pro Microsoft, regardless, you have to give these people their roses when they're making wise decisions in their business. You have to give that to them, because here's the thing. Again, I've said before that Phil could be a savage deep down. He may not show it, but at the same time, I think that the way he carries himself is he understands. Like again, he seems like he's a very smart, intelligent man. He doesn't deal business lightly. He doesn't strike me as that. I think he does push himself kind of like an optimistic individual, which I don't think is a bad thing. But I think there are people around who kind of help balance him out and say, as much as this is your personal vision of what the gaming industry should be, unfortunately, that's not what it's going to be like. But I think that, because I'm glad you brought up that example of, or let's say the analogy of, let's take ourselves outside of being a consumer. Let's look at ourselves as investors, being approached with the idea of Game Pass. And again, you have to take away your biases. You have to look at this from a business aspect. So the thing is this: if someone if we were in that meeting, right, when he was breaking down, or whoever he had breaking down Game Pass to all these investors, or even the devs, or whoever he was showing it to, again, you have to take your biases outside of yourself for a moment and say, in the realm of just pure business, this makes absolute sense. You hit all these points. I can't refute the points that you're bringing up. Because again, the important part, again, this all ties back to this, is the human nature. There's a reason why, because I will remind y'all, if y'all know this, there's a reason why when it comes to how much money they put into these games, or not even just games, but any kind of product, there are multiple layers of what they invest that money into. Like for games, is all that money they put into games is not just to make the game, it's to promote the game. It's to also do research on the game. Whereas, like say, if they're basing a location on a real world place, they go out, they spend the money to do all this, taking pictures, learn the language, mimic it, look at the culture. They put a lot of money, not just in the making of the game, but also too, they do put money towards even people in the realm of psychology, learning human behavior. So there's a lot they put forth that kind of money into. There's a reason why even commercials that are maybe 15, maybe even 10 seconds long, why they cost up to millions of dollars. Because again, it's about doing that proper research, how to dig into the mind. So that's why I tell people, like I was saying this to Emmanuel a few podcasts ago when he was on the CD podcast, is you have to learn how to properly market yourself as a human being. That's been the name of the game for as long as time immemorial. When it comes to us as human beings, let's take it in this context of us being in America. Well, first of all, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I'm a quote unquote African American. The thing is, I know that when I look at right, but I understand that when I look at a commercial, let's say for instance, State Farm, I understand why the individual, the actor who plays Jake, if you look back a few years ago to a certain commercial they had of the same caliber, where the wife comes down, the husband, he's on the phone, and he sounds like he's maybe talking to someone on the low, that, doing little mischievous things. She's like, okay, who is that? Well, it's Jake from State Farm. If you look at the commercial, it's a white guy. But think about this for a minute. Why did they suddenly decide to, let's say, edit that commercial to where now Jake is, as far as I'm concerned, he's a very attractive young male, black. He looks good. He looks fit. He talks he sounds very pleasant. So why change that now? Again, you have to look at people's psyche. You have to look at what is it that people want. People want me. That's the thing. Or let's put it like this, be more specific. You want the image of me. You want my voice. You want my hair. You want my beard. You want my facial structure. You want my skin. But when it comes to me as an individual, or me on my own personal note, you can do away with that to an extent.
I sound like that Beats commercial. You seen that one?
I don't think so.
I gotta send that to you, man. It was powerful.
All right, send it to me. But I'll end my thoughts on that and just saying, y'all, where there is a will, there is a way. But like I said before, or just something that going back to what Boss has said, and also to you as well, Emmanuel, is something's going to have to give for these things to make a change full circle. I just hope that it's not going to demand too much blood. I'll just say that, because it's going to demand blood. I just hope it's not going to be to the point where it's okay. And shout out to all the ladies who know what I'm talking about. I know you guys have that time of the month. Okay.
Whoa.
So y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't.
Yeah.
All right, it's a joke, y'all. This is a joke, y'all. Somewhat a joke, not really. Kind of a little bit. All right. But I'll end my thoughts on that. That's it for me.
Yeah, man. HBO Max is going to be the you were mentioning you would like to see other companies copy the Game Pass model. HBO Max is going to be the first one doing it, with their day and date stuff, pretty much like Game Pass. So we'll have to see how that works out for that industry.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, it's happening. It's slowly happening because, like I said, people are looking, they're seeing what something like Game Pass can do, what it's capable of, and they're realizing like, okay, all right, there's actually something here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes time, but on that note, speaking of time, we are now over 2 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed us on out to the over to the outros by beginning with Mr. Nelson himself. Tell us about
Yes.
tell us tell everybody where they can find you, man.
Yes, sir. You can find me on the TD podcast, which we do on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. KTBIM1. All right. Because I already know, first of all, if Mr. Texton was back here, he was going to get under my asshole. But there you go.
Geez.
I got it right. So he can't say nothing to me. Okay. But that's where you guys can follow me. You know, I try my best to, meet it up if I can, but I don't always be there. But when I do, I try my best to just make it very entertaining and engaging for y'all. So, you can check me out there.
Yeah, before we go, Dirk. Sorry, I caught that message late, but yeah, dude, we've already been talking about that, and I agree. I mean, granted, I say this, I'm not really a persona person myself, but it's what it symbolizes if he's able to pull that off. Because the thing is it's cool to get Final Fantasies, but we were already getting Final Fantasies. It's great to get Dragon Quest, because that's something that never touched an Xbox. So
they got Desgaia too, right?
Oh, what's that?
I said I think they got Desgaia too, right?
Well, for the Xbox?
I think it's only on PC, but I'm pretty sure they got Desgaia for Game Pass.
Okay. You're talking about the little quarter top down turn-based RPG. Yeah,
that was Nikamichi, I believe. That one's pretty popular, Japanese.
Yeah. It's on it. They need to make that available for the console too. But
yeah.
Oh shoot, what's going on, Mr. Kima?
Mr. Kima.
Dude, I know you're not just getting here late now. Oh man. But yeah, like I said, that needs to happen mainly because of the symbolic nature of that is that it shows to a lot of Japanese developers over there that are still skittish about making that jump, where it's like, oh well, if they can do it, then I guess we can do it too. Because for some odd reason, seeing Square and Namco Bandai do it is not enough, and I guess it's only because they're bigger companies with bigger wallets that they think that it's a thing where it's like it's only something you can do if you have that that same amount of dough on you to play at that table. I like I said, I don't know, but that's another. We'll say that for another day. But but Emmanuel, dude, it's been a while having you back for the round table, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was great, coming on here rocking out with y'all, man. In the meantime, you can catch me on Twitter at Waver Gaming, at Wavy Gamer X. And tomorrow you can catch me on TD Podcast. I'm gonna be chopping it up with Tech Storm and Mr. Nelson. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. All right. And as for me, you know where you can find me. You can find me right here, crouched in hidden dragon form, ready to strike at any moment. but everybody, I am probably going to do a show for, we're going to do one more podcast for Friday, but as you all know, next week is going to be coming upon Christmas Eve and Christmas. So I may not do a podcast for a roundtable for Wednesday. So I just want to go ahead and use this opportunity to put that out. Thanks, Dirk. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna actually take some time off. And because I know I've been bugging the hell out of everybody, like Emmanuel and Mr. Nelson and Tech, ODT and all of them. So
that's a blast, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I know everybody goes on about like, nah, man, you gotta be consistent. You gotta keep going. So to me, it's like this. I appreciate y'all that come in and hang out, and it really, it means a lot. But I didn't do this for becoming popular or making, or I guess you say, some people say, chasing the bag. I didn't do it for that. I did it because I had stuff that I wanted to say, because I didn't see that stuff being talked about or said.
Yeah.
So whenever it's coming up to holidays, yeah, I'm gonna take hey, boss is gonna take his day off. So on that note, I want everybody to enjoy your week and enjoy your gaming. Thanks for coming, and good night.
Peace.